Hey, have you ever stopped to think, is a dollar today worth the same as a dollar a year from now? You might think, yeah, of course. But the answer is a big no. And today we're going to dig into why. We're unpacking a huge concept called the time value of money. And trust me, it can totally change how you look at your finances.
All right, let me ask you something. I've got two offers for you. Option 1, I give you $4,500 cash right now. Option 2, I promise you $5,000, but you got to wait 3 years to get it. What's your gut say? Which one do you take? It's a tricky one, right? But which one is really the better deal?
So this isn't just some brain teaser. It's a real, fundamental question in finance. And the cool thing is, there's actually a right answer, a mathematical one. It all boils down to one thing: the power of time.
And to figure it out, you need a secret weapon. I'm talking about a tool that the pros use every single day to make these kinds of choices. And guess what? We're about to put that tool right in your hands.
Okay, so what is this secret weapon? It's called present value. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a time travel formula for your money. Now, seriously, it lets us take money from the future and see exactly what it's worth today. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly is present value, or PV for short? It's just a fancy way of saying the value of future money today. But there's a key ingredient. To figure it out, we need something called a rate of return. Think of it as the interest you could be earning on your money if you invested it somewhere else. The whole point of PV is to answer one super important question. How much is that money from the future really worth to me right this second?
All right, here it is, the formula. Now don't freak out. I know, equations can look a little scary, but I promise you this is way simpler than it looks. We're going to walk through it piece by piece.
Okay, let's plug in the numbers from our big question. FV, that's our future value, the $5,000. N, that's the number of years we have to wait, so 3. And I is the interest rate. Now, this is the one you have to decide on. For our example, we'll use 6%. You know, like what you might get from a decent investment. And just remember, if you change that interest rate, you're going to change the final answer. It's a key variable.
Okay, we've got all our pieces. Let's do the math. We're going to go step by step and finally figure out what that $5,000 from the future is actually worth today.
All right, here we go. Step 1, we got to deal with that interest rate. So we take our 6%, write it as a decimal, 0.06, and add 1. Boom, 1.06. Easy. Step 2 is all about time. We take that 1.06 and raise it to the power of 3 because we're waiting 3 years. That gives us about 1.191. And now for the final step, step 3. We just take our future money, that $5,000, and divide it by the number we just got.
And the answer is $4,196. That's it. That is what $5,000 in 3 years is truly worth in today's money, assuming that 6% interest rate.
So let's go back to our original question. Offer 1 was $4,500 today. Offer 2, the $5,000 in the future, we now know is only worth $4,196 today. So when you lay it out like that, the choice is obvious, isn't it? Taking the $4,500 now is the better deal. It's over $300 better, in fact.
Okay, so you've got the official formula down. But now, let's learn a little shortcut, a pro tip, if you will. This is for when you don't have a calculator and just need to get a rough idea real quick.
So this is an approximation. It's not going to be exact, but it gets you really close, especially for interest rates under, say, 10%. And the best part? No exponents. You just multiply the years by the interest rate, add 1, and you're almost there. It's perfect for doing some quick math in your head.
Let's run our numbers through this shortcut. We take our 3 years, multiply it by the 6% interest rate, that's 0.18, add 1, and we get 1.18. Then all we do is divide our $5,000 by that 1.18. Simple as that.
And what do we get? Roughly $4,237. Not bad for a quick shortcut, right?
Okay, let's compare. The exact calculation gave us $4,196. The shortcut gave us $4,237. I mean, look at that. They're incredibly close. For something you can do in your head, that is a fantastic estimate. It's a great little trick to have in your back pocket.
So, let's zoom out for a second. What's the big takeaway here? Because this is about more than just a formula. You've basically just unlocked a financial superpower. You now have a real, solid way to look into the future and understand what money is worth. We're not talking about a crystal ball to predict stocks, okay? We're talking about a logical tool that helps you weigh your options and make way smarter choices with your money, starting today.
You know, the most important thing to get is that present value lets you make fair comparisons. It solves that classic apples and oranges problem. It helps you compare the apples you have today with the oranges you might get tomorrow by putting them both on the same scale. That way, you can always see which one is truly more valuable.
And that brings us to the final question. For you, think about it. Negotiating a job offer, looking at an investment, even just deciding when to get paid. Now that you know how to actually put a value on future money, what are you going to do differently?